Anyway, how have you all been? What's been happening? I'm getting trolled. I'm getting trolled. Now, I sort of knew when I went online that trolls were a thing that you've got to avoid. Like, not avoid, but accept that there's going to be arseholes. And I've only ever had one. When I used to do my live streams on Instagram, I had this Rosie XXX popped up. No idea who that is. I'm assuming that's a made-up name. I doubt very much that was a picture of Rosie. And if it was a picture of Rosie, she's quite a forward girl. But she popped up, and it was very, very low rent trolling. It was literally like the comments were going like they are here tonight. You know, hey, how are you? All right? And you know, Megan holding forth as is her wont, and scaring everybody else away. And this Rosie popped in. I hate you. Just that. I hate you. So I thought, fair enough, Rosie. Got strolled past it, carried on doing my thing. Then up she pops again. I say she, could be anybody. Up it pops again. I downvote all your videos. Fair enough, you're the one. I found you. But now I'm getting trolled. That's the only troll I've ever had. The only sort of nasty trolling I've ever had. I'm getting trolled by my Auntie Sue. My aunt is trolled. My 75-year-old battle axe of an aunt is trolling me on here. Go and have a look. Last stream, like I did, my cousin popped up in the chat, and banter ensued. Go and have a look at it. It's classic Buckles. But afterwards, I did like a little highlight video that I put up on the YouTube to try and desperately get some followers to come to this feed, so I can get more people that I can stream to. And I've got 2 comments, and one is from Nikki McFicky. Now, I think Nikki McFicky is my cousin Nicola, who I've not spoken to in about 20 years, but I think that's her, because she's got quite a quirky sense of humour. And she put like, ha ha ha, this is as funny as, you know, and then like laughy emojis. Underneath that is Sue Hulse. Do you think he's funny? I don't. This is my 75-year-old aunt doing this. She's come online to have a go at old Buckles. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like, you know, I think we might have discovered the true identity of Rosie XXX. I think that might be a whole ruse to conceal Sue Hulse's identity. But imagine getting that from your aunt. Oh, she's a weird one. Always has been strange. Fair's fair. I just called her son a moron. But he is, so it's fair enough. This is more of a test run tonight because of I triggered the mother bear. That's what it is. I triggered the mother bear. You call her weakest son a simpleton, and she's bound to come out scratching. That's what I did. Nice that she loves her boy. Though I suspect it wasn't that. I think it was Brexit. Because she is Brexit to her core. You cut this woman in half and it's Brexit written through her like a stick of Brighton rock. She's been jonesing for Brexit her whole adult life. Do you know what I mean? All that lot over there on the other side of the water. Relentless with it. I think it was that more than anything else. Do you think he's funny? I don't. Not tonight so far, I've got to be honest. But I'm just still getting used to my new setup and this whole thing. 9.5 hours now, and I think I'm out of. Oh no, one more thing to talk about: the paddleboarding. For those that were tuned in last time. So, when last we spoke, I was going to go paddleboarding, and now we're speaking the other side of that. I've been paddleboarding. It's like we travelled forward in time because that's how time works. And I've been away paddleboarding up in Wales, which is something that I thought it was going to be easy, right? I thought, like, as I said in the last stream, I thought it's just you sit on a board and you paddle. Do you know what I mean? That's what paddleboarding is. You sit on a board and you paddle, hence the name. But you don't. You stand on a board and paddle. But I'm thinking, how hard can it be standing up on one of these things? Do you know what I mean? It's just like standing on a canoe, isn't it? It's going to be like, I've seen surfers on waves, and this is on the flat. This is going to be a piece of piss. So the extent of our preparation, I went with my friend, who but let's call him the Honourable Shaw. And the idea was, that's not his real name, everybody, but because he's a teacher, I don't want to get him in trouble. But not that I would, but he's got the paddle boards, right? This is the extent of our preparation. He's got 2 paddle boards. He's got 2 wetsuits. I've got some Speedos and an attitude. That's all we have going for us. But he is the teacher. And the reason he's the teacher is he's done it before, twice. And I haven't. So compared to me, he's an expert. We drive out to these lakes in Wales, where he lives. Up in the hills, we're going to go to this lake. It's going to be a cracking time. We're going to hit the thing. Obviously, a week of baking sun, a week in England that was like, oh, this is the British summer. It's here at last. Clear blue skies, birds, and oh, I could love to just jump in some cool water. The day we get to the lake, overcast, pissing down, like miserable as all sin. And I'm looking at this flat lake, this murky water, and I'm thinking, oh, who cares? We're wet outside, we're wet inside. Let's get in there and have some. So we put on the wetsuits and get in. Now, I'd made a massive mistake here, in that I've been going through a phase on Amazon Prime of watching bad horror films, and on Netflix, those budget ones. I've burnt through all the good ones. I've done Wolf Creek now. Oh God, I love Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek has got to be the greatest horror franchise of the last 20 years. And it's all down to John Jarratt as Mick Taylor. I mean, I cannot get enough of it, Wolf Creek. And there's Wolf Creek 3 coming, which I'm very excited. I've seen the teaser poster for it. I get to see some things early a little bit because of people I know. I got to see the teaser poster for Wolf Creek 3, and it's literally Jarratt as Mick Taylor glaring in black and white out of this poster. Doesn't say what it is, but it just says, there will be blood. Like, oh, I'm up for this. But I just watched a film called Beneath. Now, Beneath is about 6 friends, but they're proper arseholes, on a boat on a lake, being hunted by a giant monster fish. And it's as good as it sounds. It's actually surprisingly good, because it's about the dynamics of the 6 people. It's not about the monster fish, but the monster fish is actually quite well done. But it's not what I should have watched prior to going paddleboarding on a lake that looks exactly like the lake from the film Beneath. So straight away, I put my paddleboard in the water, got on it, and that's in my head. There's some murky, monstrous fish down there in the deep that's watching us. But you start off like you lie on the thing, and you sort of paddle like that, you know, which is that they tell you not to do when you're a surfer, because it makes you look like a nice tasty seal from underneath for any passing sharks. But I'm figuring that if the monster fish from Beneath is in this lake, he's not going to care about the shape of me. Paddling out, this is quite easy, isn't it? And the water feels quite nice, if a little murky. It was a little scary because, like, I like to, when I'm in water, I like to see my feet. You know, I like to look down and see the bottom and see my feet. And with this water on this lake, my hand would go in, and that would be the last I saw of it. It was like I was sticking my hand into H.P. Lovecraft's realm, you know, summoning Cthulhu. And anyway, so I'm paddling out. Shaw's already up on his knees with his the actual paddles, giving it a bit of that. I come out, and he's giving me my oar. So then I sort of managed to sort of come up there wobbling on the thing, and now my it's weird, because I thought, get out there, see the sights, see all the sounds. My world has now been reduced to this board and the 3 inches in front of me. So I hop up onto my knees, trying to balance there on my knees, got my paddle, and then it's like starting to do that wobble board thing. So straight away I'm getting a full-on Pilates workout in my core. I was expecting to work, I thought I'd work the arms maybe the legs if I had to swim for it, not the core. This is a proper kind of, whoosh. Should have done some back strengthening stuff before I start the paddle. Oh, getting into it now. This is surprisingly easy. So Shaw says to me, he calls out to me, standing there like he's gliding across this lake like bloody King Arthur. Do you know what I mean? Kind of got a fag on. Stand up. So I'm like, well, how do I bloody do that then? He goes, you got to do like a down dog. Do like a down dog, and then you sort of push yourself back. So I've sort of got myself into yoga down dog on this board now. I'm wobbling like this, forwards and back, trying to maintain pressure. The monster fish from Beneath is swimming underneath me in my imagination. And you sort of boost yourself. You got to sort of boost yourself up, like they call it popping in surfing, where you sort of like pop up, like Kato in the Pink Panther films, like down to your boom. So that's what you got to do, but on the wobbly board. So I sort of pop up, and it's not happening. I can feel it. I'm off centre. So I start to sort of, I don't know how to describe it. I started running towards the front of the board, but I didn't move. Do you know what I mean? I'm running on the spot, and the board's running out in front of me. Like it's like I'm moving the board underneath myself like that, but not going nowhere. And I sort of tried to. Basically, long story short, I got to the end of the board, and the board went like that, and it flipped me up. I did a backflip, bosh, and now I'm on the bottom of the lake, looking up through this murky black, whatever it was, dark water. In it, like I could see the board above me, which is attached to my leg, thankfully, by a bit of elastic, so I didn't lose it. Come up for the air. Shaw's hanging there. You're doing it wrong. Get back on the board. So I get back on the, and that's an effort and all. That's work, boy. Getting back on the thing. It doesn't want you back on it. It fights you. It tries to escape. You sort of cop for it, and you're trying to pull yourself up. Of course, you're pulling, so the board comes up. So your legs go under the board. So now you're back under the water, holding on the board upside down. Come up, local Welsh kids on the side of the thing now, sat there taking the piss out of me. Flip the board back over. Eventually got the hang of it. I did get to stand. I did get to the vertical position. But then it's turning is the thing, because you've got to turn, which is like harder than it looks. You know, it's basically favouring one side, but down I went again. But this time quite painfully. I come off the board, thought, oh well, I'll hit the water, that's fine. Didn't realise I drifted into the shallows, so I hit the water, but I also hit the ground. I was like, there's like 6 inches of water, that was hit. Bang, Christ, right on a brick in the ribs. What a laugh though. I loved every second of it. Paddleboard, it's another part of this story that I'm gonna have to check out some legal disclaimers before I tell you about it, like what I'm allowed to say on the Facebook. That's why I want to get to YouTube. Everyone watching this now, please, if you haven't already, and if you want to, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Danny Buckler Show, because I want to take this onto there, because there's an awful lot more I can do on there. Right, where are we? I've told you about my aunt trolling me. That's a weird sensation. That's weird being trolled by your aunt, I tell you. Just the thought that she got that angry, she had to comment. She'd have to start a Facebook account just to do that, because she's not on here, as far as I know. You've offended me. You can just see her face. You've offended common decency, and you've offended Sue Hulse. Do you think it's funny? I don't. I don't think it's funny that you voted my rights away, love. How about that?